I wasn't really for River being diagnosed because how can you at 4.5, 5 tell whether or not it's because of her different brain or if it's because it's just a child's instinct to be like this and this. So my original thought of when you said I'm going to get River diagnosed, I was actually a bit against it.
You're saying that like it's news to me. That's not news to me.
I know, but I'm just very cautious of the fact that I'm saying that out loud to people who can hear, because then they could argue that why wouldn't you want to help your child?
Sure.
But from my side, and being real, how I feel and felt was that why did River need to have her diagnosis done at that age where Albie was so different at that age to where she is now, and you know, even from where River was at 4.5 to where she is now at 6 is totally different. So did she need to have a label at that age?
Do you think Riv's autistic?
Well, I know she's autistic because you had her diagnosed.
That's not why I asked.
Do I think she is?
Yes.
You probably asked me that when River was 4.5. And I said no. Just like you asked me, do you think Moss is neurodivergent? No. But you then say, but I recognize the signs. I recognize this, but they're just still so young. Well, Moss is still so young, but then she's not far off from having her diagnosis done. It's not that I don't believe in it, and I don't want to be hated for what I'm saying. It's just I'd like to be told how at 4.5 is she acting in an autistic manner. Do you know what I mean?
No, but there are kids being diagnosed at 18 months, and I think...
I know, and that absolutely
Sure.
blows my mind.
I think when it's under the lens of like clinic, diagnosis, medical, problem, something wrong, disorder, all that side of things, then I can see why or how people can be like, oh, no, like, just let them be a child, let them grow up, etc. And that's not how I view it. I view it as identity and skills, understanding and awareness and being able to be helpful. Wouldn't you want to understand your brain and your behavior and why you do things? Not labels and medical and pathology and clinical side. I look at Riv and Albie and Moss and kind of go, how can I best support you? How can I best help you thrive in your life? How can I encourage you to like do more of what you're best at? That's how I see it. Like whether Moss is autistic or not does not matter to me at all.
No, and it doesn't matter to me either. But I think it's fair to say that you asked me if River's autistic. And apart from the emotional dysregulation that she has and goes through, I can't really see many more signs.
So are you saying Renata is wrong?
No, I'm not. I'm not saying this, but at the time when River was diagnosed, I really struggled to sort of see anything apart from, you know, originally I thought that maybe Riv was ADHD. I don't know. I think I'm going to get hated on this. When you say labels, Riv has that label now. She sort of sees that as I'm autistic.
It's part of her identity.
Yes.
But do you think that's a bad...
No, it's not a bad thing. All I'm saying is that it's very hard to educate or explain to a 6-year-old the ins and outs of it when you are neurotypical, right? And I get that, and I'm not brilliant at it. Like, for instance, River and I were listening to Lewis Capaldi on Strictly, and I said, Lewis Capaldi is also neurodiverse, and she said, what's that? And I said, so however many times you say this to Riv, she still doesn't understand, but she only understands when you say, oh, like you're autistic, he has Tourette's, and she wanted to know what Tourette's meant. So in my best way of explaining, I explained, and she said, but he's not autistic.
which is a very autistic thing to say.
Right. The
Because
no
it's very
filter.
blunt, literal,
Yeah.
and factual. What's your worry, though? Like,
Then there is no worry. And I'm very conscious of what I'm saying, which is
Yeah, but you
probably
don't
why
need
I'm
to
not
be.
being very literate with this. But I have to be really honest with myself and how this all started about your diagnosis coming out. I explained that I got your ADHD, but I actually couldn't get your autism. And I struggled with the need and want to get River assessed, because we don't like the word diagnosed.
No, but
I can't explain the struggle of it.
No, but I think you've moved along, like...
Because now then you say, I think we should get Moss assessed. And it's almost just, I can't keep up of it being like, let's just see. Because the reason why River was diagnosed was because you saw traits in River that you felt, right?
Which comes from a place of...
care and love. I get that.
94% of autistic children are bullied, and I do not want River to be in that 94%, and therefore signposting to school, for example, without a diagnosis, unfortunately, gets you nowhere in terms of signposting and support. Look at the adjustments that they've made for Riv at school. Around swimming, around timeouts and classroom. They don't happen if you don't
I know, but I just wonder...
diagnosis. And so I'm
They would have happened just because we've handed them a report. If we say to them, River doesn't like changing in front of anyone, regardless of her report, they would have accommodated for her. Or are you saying that they wouldn't?
This kind of school may well have done, but I'm thinking about just kids in and our education system, not necessarily. Like, I think we're very fortunate with having a school that supports this, and therefore it's not abnormal, it's not weird that they come to us and go, River's having lots of sore throats and tummy aches, in the day, and we're going, well, she's not coming home with it, and me going, I know exactly what that is. She needs to step out because she's overwhelmed. And so she can say, I've got a really sore throat. I need to go and see the matron.
Yeah.
When she doesn't, but she just needs time out. And then we say, you don't have to make up an excuse. No problem. So I feel like we come at this from two different places.
I understand. I do. I'm just trying to voice the way in which I got here, because I absolutely agree that you wanted this so Riv didn't have to struggle. I absolutely understand that. But my process of when she first was assessed was, it's not needed yet because she's still so young. So I didn't know if it was just, the tantrums or the way that they are at that age. It's very different from a neurotypical mother to then jump to... definitely autistic, definitely got ADHD.
But you're saying like they're bad things.
No.
Do you see what I mean? I'm like, if for example, River was an incredible swimmer, for example, or was incredible at the piano or chemistry, you would encourage her in those, right? And I'm not sure what the right metaphor is. And it's not about superpowers and all of that kind of ridiculousness. But because I don't see it as a bad thing, I don't see an assessment as a bad thing either, right? But if you do see it as a negative thing, then of course you don't want that anywhere near if it's a bad thing, if it's loaded with stigma.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I get the positives and support and encouragement. I get all of that. What I'm saying, as these children that we're talking about are ours and mine, my brain goes to the protective mode of, they are still so young. I really don't understand how one can assess at that age when every day is different, right? And so I had to voice that to you, but then you come at me with all the jargon of the medical side of things and what you've just explained to me. And remember, my brain doesn't work like that. It's super simple. When I say I think that River was too young, I don't have the basis of reports scientifically saying that they're being assessed at 18 months. That was in my heart to know that I didn't care. I didn't care if she was autistic. I didn't care. It's just another type of parenting to your child where you have to be very conscious, and it's just quite a difficult journey when I'm trying to keep up with it all and you've got the answers. But like this, it's like from the other side, from someone who doesn't have that key to unlock and have all the scientific facts and that brain power and capacity to hold everything in. Like literally things go in one ear and out the other for me. But all I know is that I'm a really good mum and that I can hold on to like really sort of old school beliefs that a kid is just a kid.
But a diagnosis doesn't change.
It doesn't change. It doesn't. But for us, it did change. You know, River was assessed and she's autistic. That's not me saying it's a negative.
But do you think we're better parents of Riv because we know?
Of course. But when I said that we parent very different, I don't have any of that textbook, worldly information and facts and all of that. I don't have that in me to when I parent River. I just go on instinct.
But I don't. I'm not reading some manual of how to parent an autistic child.
No, but
as an autistic person.
I know, but you research everything. You do this as a job. You are interviewing people who are sharing new knowledge to you all the time. You're interested in it.
Yes.
You are taking it all in. You know more about it than I do. And that's because you are solely invested in it, right? So when you parent River, you've got the facts to back it up. You've got all of this information to share or know of and to relate to. Yes, I listen to your podcasts, but I don't necessarily take it in like you. But when I parent River and in situations with River, it's based on sort of instinct, which is nothing to do.
I parent Riv based on Riv.
But I don't treat her any different really to the other kids.
I don't know. I know that we parent Riv for Riv and we parent Albie for Albie and we parent Moss for Moss, and we understand the individuality of our children and we meet them at that. We're experts in our kids, right? We don't have to be experts in autism or anything like that. We just got to be experts in our kids. And I think we've both come a long way in the curiosity about the kids and the curiosity about why Riv does some things the way that she does them, for example. And that's not about judgment. That is about just being curious. And I've not got any textbooks in my head. I'm just trying to focus on Riv being able to be Riv. That's it. I think I remember you saying maybe last time we sat down or just historically that you were worried that me being autistic was going to mean that that's all we talked about.
I feel really like I'm coming across really bad.
You're not.
I said that you act more autistic.
Yes, we've had that one. Because I was masking less.
Maybe I'm repeating myself, but it's almost like you have this knowledge and this brain that can now guide you with a clearer mindset going forward, right? And brilliant for you. My brain is just as it always has been. And I am trying to accommodate and compromise where best for your needs and for River in some extent, right? Taking the time on a Saturday morning not to rush around, etc. And I still don't have any of the answers at all because I'm not being negative about the assessments.
You're saying exactly what is challenging at the moment in the world of we have over-medicalized it and it's not been strengths-based. It's all deficit-based and it has been. And obviously I'm I'm on the other side of this. I'm far more evangelical about it. I do see lots of the challenges, but obviously want to focus on the strengths and want to change the narrative. But there is still that kind of historic narrative there. And so this is exactly the nuance and shift of perception of, it's not about diagnoses and medicals and clinics and all that sort of stuff. It is about people just understanding who they